Greetings, everyone. Just set it up here. I'm looking for a file. Okay, copy. So today is another Monday with DioWarriors. Paste. It's essentially we're all about the diorama, and it doesn't necessarily mean 1/18 scale diorama. It could mean also HO scale, N scale. It could mean 135 scale, 120 scale. So the thing is that we like dioramas in general, and the scale that I default to is 1/18 scale, and mostly because it's an action figure scale. It's the figures are highly posable, so it kind of renews a diorama, which tends to be static in most cases. Um, so it keeps things fresh and interesting, and the possibilities are quite large when you have all sorts of different makers making 1/18 scale items, everything from figures to vehicles, ranging from fantasy to monsters to modern military to even cowboys and such, to post-apocalyptic and future in space. So very sci-fi setting. You have so many different themes and so many different genres to dwell in. It's the options to do dioramas, whether it's a small thing or it's a large item. The possibilities are, it sounds kind of corny, but the possibilities truly are endless. And especially with modern technologies like 3D printing, being able to do designs in CAD at home for yourself, and then be able to make those 3D objects that you design into reality through a 3D printer, whether it's a resin printer or a filament type printer, doesn't really matter. It depends what you need. I'm going to sneeze right now, so that's one thing about these printers, is that it makes a room like this hot, and sometimes you don't want to be with a fan or direct AC, because all that stuff can influence the printing quality and cause a lot of problems. So for me, sometimes I get allergies. Just could be as simple as my nose itching or my eyes itching, something like that. So I usually try to, fight back from sneezing, especially when I'm live. But anyway, so sometimes what we do here on this channel is do figure reviews, and sometimes we do just a little get together, a little hangout with other like-minded individuals, and sometimes it's a store owner or a toy maker. Um, Sometimes it's other toy reviewers, and but most of the time it's going to be me, doing things with 3D printing. Got these machines behind me off at the moment. The weather is not too great. Um, kind of the power's been going up and down, even though I have each machine on its own emergency backup. Still, dealing with electricity and stuff like that, and the cost of the machines, you don't really want to expose your expensive machines to the possible power fluctuations, even though you may have safeguards for it. However, I do have smaller, less expensive machines, and they're running right now. And those are also hooked up to emergency battery backups. But fortunately, I have more than one. And if they do go bad, they don't cost that much to replace. I don't want to replace them because you don't necessarily are guaranteed to get a good working machine out of the box. When you order a new one, you might get a lemon. And I have gotten one lemon on these machines, my very first one, and it didn't dissuade me from getting another. And then I end up having a small array of machines of the same type. So, well, with all that said, I woke up today and I was surprised to see that I had one particular order that fell through the cracks. And it was kind of strange because the system that we're using was saying sent, as if we had already processed the order and packaged everything up and sent it out to the customer. So this morning, got an email from a customer asking for an update. So I took a look, and it's like say sent. So looking around, we always keep track of what we actually send. We don't just rely electronically on the system. We have our own little system that we send out. So we keep a paper trail of all the orders that do get sent out, and so we hold on to those. And so there's no paper trail. So a glitch happened. I don't know what. I'm kind of. I was thinking maybe it might be downloading a freebie. Maybe that has confused the system or so. But the person didn't do it. So I don't know what happened. So I'm going to have to, investigate some more. But so because of that, I'm also, special processing that person's order to try to make up for lost time on that. So I do have that. I also have another order set up, and this is not quite for that particular order, but it's the order has similar things. Y'all remember this? Maybe I can get this a little bit closer. I can't really see, can you? Well, not too well. It wants to focus on me rather than the object. Oh, almost did it. So these are, computer panels for the DioWarrior rack computer system. We got different kinds. Here's one. Here's another one that looks a little different. And these came out pretty well. They have been processed, smoothed, so the layer lines are less. Now this one's got a mysterious black mark. I don't know why. I don't know what that black mark is. That's what I'm saying. Obviously it's filament, but I haven't used black filament in that machine in, what, a year? Maybe 2 years? So that's kind of strange. Could be burnt filament. Anyway, so this one's not going out to the customer. This one will stay with me. I stay with the imperfections. So that's one thing, okay? When you see me post pictures like the VSS and other things like that, unless it's a complete prototype, if it's been around for a while and it's not a prototype that I'm taking a photo of, chances are the stuff you see on the photo are going to be the rejected props, not the props that I send out to customers, not that quality. This will be the quality that I keep for myself. Is usually a little bit less because I usually send out the best quality to the customers. But for me, once I get past the prototype and I'm doing production, if I get a production object that is not up to my specs of what I would be sending out to a customer, well, then I'll replace that with the better prop. Maybe it might be the prototype. Maybe it might be something that I did for myself. It's not a prototype, but it's production, but it came out good for myself. So I'll use that. And then I'll keep the the error one, the one that has a flaw, lower quality, and I'll keep that one for myself. So over time, you'll see pictures of like the VSS, a whole room full of greebles and computers and all sorts of other stuff. And most likely, a lot of it has flaw. So if it looks good on the camera, it lets you know that what you as a customer will get is, chances are, it's going to be a lot better looking than that. So if it looks good on the camera, what you'll get is going to be even better. I'm waiting. Okay, I got 2 prints finished. Let me just. Oh, here's another little thing I'm working on. Okay, because it does take time to do the rack cases for these computer things.
You bet.
Computer, stop. I should mute it. Go to sneeze again. Let's see. I have. Well, I got them somewhere. Maybe they're still in the box that I took to Joe Fest. Sometimes those boxes don't get emptied out when I come back. They stay full until I have a reason to go to them. And I haven't had a reason to set up those items that I took. So the thing is that on display over at Joe Fest, and you may have seen in photos, I have a computer rack, okay, and I have several of the computer cases inside this cabinet. So it's a computer cabinet. And people have been requesting for this cabinet, but it takes like around 5 hours to print just one of them. So I've been looking for alternative ways. One way is I'm thinking is that, well, maybe I can just simply laser cut, ideally in plastic, a box, and then basically the cabinet. And then I'm thinking, does it actually have to be functional, or can it be more of a facade type setup? So I was thinking, well, I got to do a test. So I went ahead and for the VSS, I didn't get this far to actually use it. So I have these in reserve. I made the front panel for these cabinets. So you can imagine a cabinet box being behind here, laser cut. In the front, it's not going to stick unless I glue it. In the front, these panels. So you can imagine hope they're not going to fall. So you can imagine, some sort of box with this in front, looking like it's a complete functional panel, where you can pull the computer cases out. But it's all designed to be stuck in there. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking like how wide or how deep that computer cabinet should be. Should I make it as deep as what I currently need for the actual working computer cabinets, or do I make them more shallow? So I'm thinking at the moment I am thinking of a more shallow cabinet, one that doesn't have to be so deep. Reason is that the intent was to use them with the VSS, and the VSS's rooms can get quite full, and you end up running out of space. The more stuff you put in it. So I was thinking of trying to maximize by having just enough of the cabinet so that on photos and when you look at it, it looks like it's full of real cabinets in there. And so I was thinking of making two offerings. One where it's a thicker, a deeper cabinet, and the other is more shallow cabinet, or just offer the faceplate. So that way you can stick the faceplate directly onto a wall. You can end up having several of them, and then it's up to you to determine like what computer faceplate should go on there. So you could have something that looks like an array of hard drives, or some other type of computer stuff. So I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't want it to fall and go on the floor. So that's current. That's a current thing that's going to be hitting the store in a short time. I probably will just first introduce the front part, and when I work out the cabinet portion, I'll put that on the store. But for the meantime, it's probably going to be just the front part. Let's see, let's move this out of the way. There's when we got this place, there's an old, it looks like a 1970s style lamp that I have to take down. It's just basically it's a hanging light bulb with a lampshade, but it's an ugly look. So I'm thinking of undoing the lampshade and replacing it with something maybe I can laser cut, like some sort of perforated lampshade kind of thing, and attach that, and so that way I can make it look interesting, something more modern. Drinking tea. So let's see. Oh, good. 3 prints have finished. So this one, oh gosh, it's stuck onto the build plate. Yeah, that's going to be a mess. Okay. So I got these computer things that are fresh out of the printers. I am going to process them later tonight. Basically, I'm going to clean them up. And quickly looking at the quality of them, they're not that bad. And okay, so tonight with these, they're going to have to get cleaned up because they got a lot of stringies, you can see, and I will have to then put them into the machine that will smooth the keyboards out. Then these will be ready in about a day. Maybe by Wednesday they'll be hitting the mail and going out. So the weather is looking a little bit better right now. It's no longer raining. However, I will use these printers when I come back. In about an hour, I have to hit the road. And so what I want to, I need to Where do I have? I'm looking for like a chisel. I have a chisel for the prints that are extremely hard to take out. Let me see, hold on, I gotta find that. No, I don't find it right away. It's something I don't. Oh, here it is. This came with another 3D printer, a Delta one. I like it. It prints that printer prints very well. However, to set up is a bit of a challenge because it requires basically it's 100% wireless, and so that's might sound like okay, it's nothing really new with that, and yeah, but the way this company did it is that not every router works with it, and most routers have a particular switch. I don't remember what it is that you have to make sure it's selected as like off. It's like one of these switches that you go into the router and in the software and it's like set for auto or something like that, and you have to set it off or manual or something like that. And then it's one of these switches that the name kind of changes a little bit depending on the manufacturer of the router. So I got to go in and I got to take a look and see. I have the original router that I used with it, and I'm thinking like, well, maybe what I can do is hook up this old router to my primary router that I use now, and have that printer connect to the old router, not to the rest of the network, just only to that old router. So I'm thinking of doing that, and because it prints really nice. Anyway, they sent this chisel to remove items off of their build plate. I've seen people split their hands and everything, so it's a very dangerous tool. And but it works extremely well for very stubborn parts. Okay. I just got the grip on the part. It's like it doesn't want to give. So maybe I can put my knife under the part that lifted. Wow. It really doesn't want to give. Okay. Yeah, I always take as much care with this when I use this chisel, because I've seen people post pictures that they had a mishap, some sort of mishap with it, where it slices their palm or thumb and other items, other fingers and things. It's very sharp. It's very sharp, and so it must be like steel or so, and it's gotten like a patina type look on it now, so it's probably full of some sort of bacteria. You know what I'm saying? You really need your tetanus shots or something like that in dealing with this one. So I mean, it works really well, but I always try to keep my hands and fingers away under in such a way that if this thing here were to lose its grip and slide, my hands wouldn't be nowhere near the path that it would take. So I gotta find a better place to keep it too, though, because I usually hang it up. But yeah, I guess I could hang it up again. I have these hooks. I put it in the far corner that if it falls, it's not going to fall on my foot. Because usually when I'm working indoors, I'm usually either barefoot or just with socks. And if I do wear something inside, it's going to be like a flip-flop or something like that. So if that thing were to fall, if it hits my toe, it's going to cause some serious injury. Okay, so this is a leg for one of the consoles. It's not the right console that I need to. I just started that print, so that's not the right one. I need to back out of this. I need to. Let me try this file. Okay. Fingers crossed on that one. Sometimes the names of the things that I do is like the names get similar. At the time when I make the names, they seem unique enough, but after a long time, you end up one version ends up in your mind, ends up being similar to another version. So version 5 and version 7, which is the version that I'm looking for. And then what I put on the store where it says version 5, it might actually be version 3 in terms of the files. So I have to go in and streamline both what you see in the store, what you see on the files and everything, and make it all streamlined. Plus, not only that, what I want to do too is work on the weight of each item. Like I got one of these micro scales, and I need to take the weight of each piece and do the store so it's based on weight rather than the current system that I have. And so that way I can be a little bit more precise when it comes to shipping. And because right now it's based on price basically. And what I want to do is, so it's a range of prices. So what I want to do is to have it so it's all based on weight. This is the printer that has that slow leak where the filament wants to ooze a little bit. And I need a scissor. Okay. And big glob of black has just oozed out and dropped. So, stuff like that can mess up a print. Fortunately, it fell at an early point that it shouldn't interfere, because the printer is still pulling the other layers of the first layers of it. It's when you do 3D printing, okay, when you set down the layers, there's the body of the you could say the surface of the prints. Okay, so layer 1 is going to have a large surface that's touching the build plate, and then it's going to have the sides. So what the printer usually does is that it does the sides first. So it does like an outline, and then the outline is probably like several layers thick. All this you specify in the software, depending on the manufacturer. Like MakerBot calls them shells. So how many shells thick? Cura calls them walls, I believe. So it's the same thing. So you can specify how thick you want these walls to be. And so what the printer does is that it does several throws. I guess you could say the MakerBots, they do it based on how many vertical layers you want to have rather than the measurements. Like for example, you can specify how many walls. Okay, you can specify thickness in millimeters of the walls. In other brands, you can specify, well, just how many passes you want to do. So so usually by default, it's on a machine without any configuration. It's about like 2 walls thick. So that's how these are set up. And so it does the outline, and then it does the outline again a little bit more on the inside. And then once it does all the outlines, then it starts to do the surface part, and it does that as a wall. So if you have it set up so it's like 2 walls thick, it will do the surface pass twice. So it'll do an outline twice, and then it'll do the bottom layer. Then it'll do the outline twice again on the next layer up, and then do the next bottom layer, and then it'll do the third layer. It'll do the outline, and then start filling the interior in whatever pattern you specify, the infill pattern. And so there's a lot of different ways you can configure the machines. So the way this thing oozed out, it fell on the point where it was doing the outer outline. Now, in terms of the quality, it shouldn't matter because it's still 1 layer thick at that point, and it still hadn't done the interior, the inside outline. So it really shouldn't matter. Now, the only concern I do have is that when it does the next layer up, when it goes to do the outside outline, since when I pulled that piece off, it took that outside outline with it. There's no outside outline at all. So is it going to work? I think so. So far, it's doing okay. So, getting thirsty again. I'm having problems with the Facebook portion. So I guess this is only going to be on YouTube. What happened is that September 11th, okay, and 20 years. So everyone is posting memory photos, things like that, memorials, basically, 20 years anniversary for 9/11, never forget kind of thing. And so I post one that I posted the year before, which I posted the year before that, so forth. And I haven't had a problem. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Facebook says, your picture is in violation. Violates our community standards kind of thing. And it's a historical photo, and it shows no violence other than the airplane in the distance. So you have the Twin Towers already, one of them impacted, You got a lot of black smoke. And then there's the photo shows the second aircraft on the way to the second tower, but it's not near the second tower yet, so it's still out. You can see the sky in the background, things like that. So it's a classic photo, and Facebook flags it as violating community standards. And so they say that I am banned from posting or going live for 30 days. And well, so I guess which account? The DioWarrior store account where the image was posted, or my personal account where the image was not posted. So I send this. I set up this live broadcast for all the accounts, YouTube, and the two that I have on Facebook for the store as well as personal. And so I'm getting little messages here and there saying that it couldn't broadcast to Facebook. So well, okay, great. The downside is that it just inconveniences me, so I'll just have to link this video and get around that posting if I can. If not, I'll just wait for 30 days and then post this on there so y'all get to see what was censored out. And so anyway, censoring. Of course, I selected the option to contest it, that I disagreed with it. And out of convenience for Facebook, they say, well, due to the pandemic, we don't have enough people to go through all the different types of contesting type complaints. So we'll get around to it when we can. So of course, when Facebook wants you to jump through a hoop, they expect you to jump immediately. But when you need them to do something, well, they drag their feet, and they'll say, oh, something like the pandemic. Of course, if they really wanted to get around it, such as work from home, work out of the office, all that other stuff, because it's the platform, especially to review the things like images and things like that. It's, to me, the way I see it, all that can be done through the Facebook system, through a web page. Do you have to go into the corporate office? I don't know. If they have it set up that way, well, maybe they're monitoring their own employees, that kind of thing. Don't know. But anyways, if they really wanted to, there's ways to get around it. There's ways to do things, move fast, get results. Anyway, so I'm just like, just posting what other people post, and so now I'm thinking like, okay, well, maybe next time I'll just put like 21st anniversary, in really big over the image. Maybe that might confuse, or the image algorithms that Facebook is using, because having text all over the actual image kind of changes the actual image, and it doesn't really match anymore to what's known in a known database. So want to get around censoring? Yeah, there's ways to do it. You can even do it as a collage, where you could have multiple squares with a grid inside. There's all sorts of ways. The human mind is pretty nice to piece together fragments of an image to see what you want to see, and it's harder to do that. And of course, you can just toss out the words AI this, AI that, but to actually sit there and program it to do it, to recognize it like that, it's, and cover all the bases. It's not that easy. So, anyways, but enough of that. On to bigger and happier things. So, what I wanted to do and what I had set up to do is, and I have in the background, I have SolidWorks loaded. And I got the file copied. That's what I was doing at the very beginning. And I don't know, why is it making that noise? Oh, nothing is leaking. I see some plastic beginning to come out, but I'll get to it. Maybe here I can increase the speed. Oh, I can see this. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let me show this. Share the screen. Share screen. Window. Yes. So here is the nuclear core prop. So this one here, what I need to do is make it so it can be printed on a regular filament printer. So I'm going to convert this file. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go ahead and convert this file into a format that's going to be more friendly for FDM type printers. This was originally designed for what do you call it? Resin printers. So little things are too thin for regular filament, but not everything. For example, little details like this here is going to have to get fixed up a bit, and I'm still going to try to preserve much of this. I'm going to have to add some support. So let's see, which is the direction that I want to print, which is going to be the top and which is the bottom. See, I'm going to print this as a cylinder standing up. So to do that, I'm going to say, okay, this side is going to be the bottom. So when I look at this, the first thing I see is that I'm going to need to put something here, because when the printer goes to print the bottom part of this part, it's going to be extruding in midair. So it's going to be like printing the wall of the bottom of the cylinder. They see in blue. And then it's going to get to the bottom of this arch. It's upside down. So it's going to print the bottom part, but it's going to throw material out from that wall out into the air. Nothing's going to catch it. So I need to add some stuff to this. So let me do this. Let me click here. Click this here. I just don't want to do it in the wrong direction. I guess I could go for both directions, so that way it's symmetrical. So okay, symmetrical. Let's go sketch. Let's do this. Let's do an arc right here. And let's from here, let's make a center line. Let's just make it 1 millimeter long. Do we need to make it 1 millimeter long, or can we, or would it actually look better if it was not 1 millimeter, but if it went all the way to the end? Like, for example, will it look better if it went all the way to the edge here? Let's make this one into construction. And then we go, we click this, click that, select that. We go 1 millimeter thick, so we do half. Oh, that's going to be quite thick, huh? Because I go bi-directional, that's going to be 1 millimeter thick. It will print okay. Yeah, this is doable. Aesthetically, this will work. And it's the aesthetics is what we want on this. Let's go to, let's do it cap ends. Let's make this into a line. Let's remove this cap end down here. Oh, come on, I need to click out of it, I guess. Click this. Remove that. Extend these lines so they beat up with that arch or arc. Now let's trim that arc. I don't know why I'm saying arch. Oh well. So then let's make a mirror out of this. So we do the other side. So let's get the midpoint, which should be there. Set it up. I'm looking to see if it's 90, if it's 0 degrees. You know, no angles. Okay, that's right there. That looks good. Now I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to say mirror. Well, yeah, it's got that. It's got more than one construction line, so I'm going to have to go in and specify that mirror construction line, which is right here. Yeah, don't mind me with my terminologies. I'm making it up as I go. So copy all of this. Features, extruded base. I just want to make it up to vertex, I think. No, I want to go to surface. Up to surface. This surface. It's going to go all the way through. I don't want to go all the way through. Up to body. Let's try that. It might be hard to see with the color. Okay, let's try this. No error. Good. Okay, I like it. Then, of course, I'm not done with any of this yet. I need to do this for all 4 sides. So, except here. Well, let's go to the opposite end. Let's go over here. Okay, because it's, the orientation is vertically like that. Sketch, paste. Oh, come on! It didn't select my other sketch. Yeah, so I gotta delete this. Delete. Yes. So select that surface for sketch. Okay. Now I can paste. Yeah, there it is. So select this, move it to the midpoint, right there, and just duplicate the same steps. Up to the surface. No. Up to body. That's what I did. Okay. So a thought has occurred to me, since this is only live in YouTube. Maybe I can go to YouTube and share the link live now. Okay. Can I go share? Share the link live now. Let's share it on Facebook. Let's see. Share the link. Share the Facebook. I can't spell from. Okay. Let's post to Facebook. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it works. Okay. And let's see. Now I go to. I guess I refresh my page. Can I do that? Yay. Okay. Yeah. So it worked there. At least it's on Facebook. Lessons learned. Happens next time. I'll be a little bit more ready. So okay. So back to this. Okay, now I do this one. Now it's going to change the orientation. That means when I paste it, I'm going to have to rotate the thing. So sketch, paste. Okay, so now I'm going to have to rotate it. Features, extrude. Yeah, okay. Up to the surface. Up to bottom. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a better alternative to Facebook. And I know there's a bunch of stuff out there. There's Minds. There's some other ones. I just don't have the time to go through each one. But I guess since doing banning me from a photo that actually doesn't really show anything other than a snapshot, it's it's gonna promote me to go look for other platforms, and little by little those other platforms will gain a stronger foothold. So it's inconvenience for me, but at the end of the day, it's going to make DioWarriors stronger, more how to say, more, what's the right word? Indomitable. You can't keep it down, that kind of thing. So sketch. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have copied, because I got to rotate this again. I want to move. I want to rotate. Okay. Center of rotation. This is it right here. Just lock it in. Then go to center of rotation. Up to body. I'm going to have to leave soon because school lets out, and that's going to just have traffic congestion. Oh, look at that. And I just noticed this, but that might be the top. Let's see. Like that at the bottom. I think I'm going to have to adjust this also. Okay. So did I get all sides? Yeah. Okay. Let me quickly see what I can do with this. See, extrude. Let's take a look at the sketch. Oh, I see. Well, okay. I'm going to leave that one alone, but what I'm going to do is this chamfer. What's the settings? 0.5, 45 degrees. Okay, what I'm going to do is it just here, or is it the other side too? Okay, good. I'm going to delete this. Hopefully it doesn't domino to other items getting confused. Yeah, so that one is, I don't know where that one's at, but I'll go ahead and delete this and discover where to put it back. Delete. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a small cut. Sketch, make a circle. What I'm doing here is I'm going to trim this. I want it to be about the same diameter as the cylinder portion, and the same diameter as the outer wall right there. Okay, now I'm going to go features, extruded cut. This is just a small little bitty adjustment. I think this is 0.5, but I can go, if I don't know, I can go up to vertex. Select this, that's the vertex. Okay. Do the same thing for this side. This is actually making the part better, I think. I mean, looking better. You don't really see things like this with the resin printer. And plus when it prints, the resin printer does take the difference that it does have this this beveled look to it. So I go sketch, and then I select the circle. So then I kind of feel like eating some Italian food, like a spaghetti. Suddenly I'm thinking about, I don't know that. Suddenly I'm thinking about like spaghetti sauce, mozzarella, cheese, that kind of thing, and spaghetti. I know my wife has been asking me like, what am I in the mood for? And so I was just saying, oh, how about some noodles? Because I've been having some noodles this past week. Shoyu, tonkatsu, and uh, some sort of miso noodle thing. I think it'll be okay. And but now I'm thinking like, oh man, spaghetti sounds good with big, huge meatballs, or maybe a bunch of small meatballs all chopped up, so it's more meaty. One time I had a friend who was into the SCA, Society for Creative Anachronisms. They do a lot of medieval reenactments, and it's not just reenacting like cosplay would be reenacting, not in that way. Instead, they get more involved, and so they try to relive well, I don't want to say relive, but they try to duplicate at least the knowledge, so of like medieval things. So, for example, in this case, the friend made a dinner for me and my mom. This is like years ago, back in the '80s, really, and it was a medieval recipe of spaghetti, and it was quite thick. Quite, it was good. It was a lot, but it was good. So it was spaghetti, but done, but not in like the modern style or the modern expectations of how spaghetti is, but how it was back in medievalish times. And they tried to get to use ingredients that was common or accessible in medieval Europe at the time. Fortunately, Italy, being the way it's situated, you can get spices from Middle East and other places like that. So foods were a bit better. But anyway, it made for a unique experience. So if you're interested in things like recipes and foods of the past, like old style bread, other kinds of things, how to make beer, mead specifically, honey mead, and other things like that. The SEA people would probably have all of the knowledge that you need to go and look up and learn to do it yourself. Including like what types of silverware or eating utensils they would have back then. Was the spoon invented back then? Was did they use a fork? How did they handle the spaghetti? When was forks invented? Things like that. All that would be knowledge that they would know. So let's see, features, extruded cuts. Now I want to do vertex. Yeah, now the weather is beginning to change again. It was getting some pockets of blue sky. Now it's completely overcast. There's gray clouds and white clouds, but no blue sky. So what I'm going to do here is remember that setting was like half a millimeter at 45 degrees. So I'm going to say 0.5. And basically put everything back. I'm also going to do that for these pieces here. Because the idea is this. Printing this part standing up, there's a little spacing between these objects here and the actual surface. So those objects are going to be printing without any support up in the air. The printer is going to throw material out there, and there's nothing to catch that material, so it's going to sag. So the idea is to put some angled surfaces. So the printer basically supports itself. As it prints, it starts printing at an angle. Each previous layer of the angle supports the next layer up. 45 degrees is a good angle to use, and it makes for it will make for a good print. I do see one thing that's going to cause some problem, especially on the bottom. So I may just remove it from the bottom, but not from the top, which will be these curved surfaces right here around this, because this is going to be curved as well. I may have to remove the curved stuff here, so that way, because the printer has a nozzle that's only a certain amount of a certain size. It's like 0.04 millimeters opening. I don't know what it means by this. Let me just do this again, but so anyway, so to do this outer part of the cylinder, it's going to be extremely thin-walled, and that may affect the quality of the print at that point. So I am going to try to thicken it up some, so it will be at least 0.5 millimeter thick, which should be okay for the printer. .5. Do this one at a time, each side. So let's do this first. Go to the other side and do these again. Okay. Then do this again, but let's try now with this. So let's select just one and see if we get any error. We got no error, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to select that again and continue with the other. That reminds me too. I'm thinking about what I got to do after the broadcast. I need to go to the local supermarkets here. It's called Publix. It's a chain of them, and I need to get some coffee filters. Not for a coffee machine, but you see, I've been drinking at night. In particular, I've been drinking just some green tea. And I went to Costco and I bought like 100 packs. It's a box of some, Japanese imported, distributed by Costco, of some very good tasting green tea. But the bags are, they're not paper bags like a traditional tea bag. Instead, it's a very thin plastic mesh. So the thing is that when you open the envelope with the tea bag in there, you get this swirl of tea dust. And then, so you can try to clean it up, whatever. You put it into your water, and it leaves on the surface some tea dust. So when you drink it, it gets on the roof of your mouth. It's like, oh, that doesn't taste good. And then I noticed at the very bottom, the tea is actually finer than much of the mesh. So at the very bottom, you end up getting tea particulates down there, and so it doesn't make for a pleasant experience. And I've had that tea for 3 times, and each time I tried different ways to eliminate the tea dust and all that. And so what I'm thinking is that maybe what I can do is get a coffee filter, pour the tea in there and let the thing drip. Now I do have an AeroPress, and I like the AeroPress. So an AeroPress is similar to like a French press, but a little bit more advanced. So what's nice is that the AeroPress, you can use a coffee filter if you cut it, but they also sell their own little filters. They're small little round discs, and you put at the bottom of the AeroPress. You can pour the tea in there. You can put the AeroPress upside down. You pour the tea in there. You put the plunger piece, and you flip it, and now you can just push that plunger, just like a French press, through the filter. So instead of waiting for the thing to drip, you can just filter the tea out right away. Unfortunately, I can't find my AeroPress filters, so I have to order them from Amazon. I had some, you know how it is. You're not looking for it, it's there. When you need it, you don't know where it is. So that's what happened. So, okay, so now the other thing is that you see how this is. Now it's beginning to rain, so I don't know if you hear the raindrops hitting the window. I'll just stay quiet. Yeah. So I don't know if you can hear it, but that's the raindrops that's going on. Okay, so you see how this has underneath these things here, it has a gap. I am going to try to thicken that gap up and save this. I'm going to try to eliminate that gap, make it more solid. Ideally, if I can make the whole thing solid all the way through, that'd be best. So let's see, maybe can I simply just make the thing thicker, or how is this? Okay, so yes, I think I can. I think all I have to do, fingers crossed, is just make this extrusion. Oh, is that 0.25? Make this extrusion. What would it be? Maybe 1? Oh, the other way. 0.25. This direction. Let's try 1. Oh, look at that. Oh, 1 millimeter thick. Okay, let's go a little bit more. 1.25 millimeters thick. Okay, let's make it half. 1.5. Okay, good. Okay, let's do it also for this. What's this one? What's it noise? Oh gosh, maybe I can rescue. Yeah, it fell. Okay. Another blob of filament fell. I kind of stopped the other one, so I haven't resumed printing. No time right now. I'll do that when I come back. Okay, so let's see. Make a modification to this. 1.5. Okay. Okay. Almost done with all of this. There's a few other things I need to change the aesthetics. It shouldn't make that much of a difference. 1.5. And one more. You know, it's always dangerous to drive here whenever it rains, especially if it just rained and all the streets are wet here in this part of Florida, because people pick and choose what laws on the road they want to obey. So they'll drive fast, they'll swerve and cut in front of you. They will get on the middle lane or the right hand lane, and they'll cut in front of your right only lane. They'll do all sorts of crazy, stupid stuff. Let's see, where is this? Right here. So this is a cut. Let's see how much of the cut. Because I might be able to keep this this set of details here if it's not too extreme. Well, it's not bad. It's what I may have to do is what's going to be a challenge is going to be this part there. Let me see if I can put some items in here and see if I can. Yeah, this might work. Maybe. At least for a prototype print and see. Okay. Now, let's see. Save this. I need to do the same thing and just put a little bit of support right here. And 0.25. Oh, I don't do that. Sorry, wrong thing selected. Select this. Do an offset of, yeah, 0.25. Okay. Construction line. Copy. Going to have to leave in a 15 minutes about features. No, not features. Sketch. Okay. What? I'm still sketched. Yeah. So sketch. Paste. Movie. Gotta rotate this. So yeah, even though this is all CAD stuff and things like that, it is, you know, building a part of a diorama, little things. So all these are tools that you can use to build your own diorama, CAD stuff, 3D printing. And this is the way it goes, it's whether it's just cutting up styrene with a knife and things, I don't know, but it's all part of making the diorama up to surface. The other one I didn't do the extrusion part. I am going to have to go back and do that. So sketch. Oh, I'm going to have to really rotate this one. Yay, that print finished. Copy, and I'll rotate. 180 degrees. features. And got to do this one more time. I'm just thinking aesthetically, making a change. Up to surface. There was lightning just now. And the thunder. Okay. Click this. Sketch, sketch. Control V. Rotate. Okay. Up to surface. That surface. And do that for this. Come on, hurry up. I got a message. I better check it out. Up to surface. Okay, so let's take a quick look and see. Save that. Curious about the message. Okay. I gotta say the thumbnail that Facebook put when I shared the link to YouTube is pretty nice. Let's see. Yep. Let's see now. Another message. Now let's see. What I want to do here. See, I'm thinking of taking this, okay, this part, and kind of moving it up so it's about right about there. So let's see how much work that is. Maybe it won't be that bad. Look at this. Kind of go extrude right there. Can I just tell it to extrude to that vertex? Yeah, let's try it. Up to vertex. This is going to be an interesting accomplishment, really. Because there's other parts that are overhangs, like here, that I will have to work around. Does it need to be this deep? See, maybe what I can do is make maybe what I can do is make a cylinder from here, from this surface to here. That would have a little bit of overhang, but it won't be too bad. So let me do the bottom of that like that too. Click this, take a look on the tree. Okay, extrude 17, feature. Good, good, good. Up to vertex, right there. Now, do I want this to, this is 0.5. I can make a little bit less. And it will still look good. But let's try to keep, let's try to leave this at 0.5. So this is going to be a challenge here also. It's almost easier to you see, there's some other things that I can go back and change, okay? Because you see how this has a groove in between right there. That was done specifically for the resin printer. And it really doesn't need that with the filament printer. So the resin, so this groove was added in there for the benefit of resin. Let's see. What I can do is, can I trim this fillet piece? Can I trim this off? It's right there. What if I suppress this? When I suppress things, I always get concerned because sometimes, you know, you make a design and like you see me do with this arch part down here at the beginning, and that arch is based on a fillet, this curve. So if I suppress that particular fillet, it would automatically suppress the arch that I did, which led to this piece, and so, you know, it more than one thing will automatically get suppressed. So I'm always concerned when I suppress something. Okay. So let's see. It's still got that. Okay, let's see where it's a cut. I don't want to suppress it, but I'm curious. Let me save the work. See, this is where things begin to get very tricky. Let's see. Seems like the rain is still coming down, but it's not as hard. Okay, so let's see. If I suppress this, okay, flat 4 is currently suppressed. Chamfer 5 is currently suppressed. 4 and 5. So if I go back to here, select this. Okay. If I suppress that, what happens? I get an error over here. Oh yeah, yeah, big major change. So let's gotta just simply Control Z. Okay, got it back. So what if I try this? What if I try to edit the sketch? So only part of that is cut. For example, can I do this? Can I cut here to here? You know, just kind of like trim it off and do the same thing over here. Let's see, fingers crossed. Okay, yeah, this is better. I still have that little cut right there for details. On this side also. But that cut is no longer in between all of these pieces. So that's good, that's what I want. I might actually see how nice this part here looks. That's what's the original intent for these pieces. So I may remove this fillet here and see how it goes. But before I do that, let me go ahead and remove. We'll do the same thing with these cuts. Edit sketch. Oh, come on, click. You know, I'm kind of in the mood to go live when I come back. I might do that. Might be part 2 going live. I'm kind of in the mood. I'm kind of enjoying working on these older designs. And that might mean that maybe I can take a break from what I normally do at night and just kind of work on the design and upload it. Plus, if y'all don't mind, you know, seeing me do designs like this, maybe I can reference in YouTube the title of these broadcasts where I'm doing, you know, CAD stuff, and I can separate that from, let's say, a figure review or some sort of hangout. So Monday with DioWarriors is kind of a very generic title, mostly because I don't really know what I'm doing when I do the broadcast. I'm winging it. You know, it may be part of an update, so it's partially news, DioWarrior news, maybe toy related news or something like that. Diorama news. It might be some other thing. Might show, you know, printing. Might show, you know, CAD. I want to edit sketch. do this again. Let me check real fast, see if there's any comments since I posted on Facebook the link. Let's see. Comments. No comments. Boo. Okay. Let's see. My voice. I hear police sirens, so maybe maybe there's an accident out there. Like I say, people here don't know how to drive on sunny days. And it gets worse when it's rainy days like this because they assume that their cars are going to handle the wet conditions of the road in the same way that they always do when it's sunny. So they drive fast, they swerve, they don't pay any attention to physics. They, with SUVs, larger mass takes more effort to stop. And on slippery roads, they're relying on technology like anti-lock brakes, things like that. And but they still have the same reflexes and it's ridiculous. It's like people are not it's like people are regressing instead of going more advanced, more as people are just regressing. It's like, come on, think, use your brain. But people are just finding more and more ways, it seems, not to use their brains. So let's see, got this one right here. Yeah, I know this is a bit on the slow side, but it's got to get done. The other option would be to make things with chamfers, 45 degrees sides, instead of some of these vertical stuff. And that would basically require a redesign. It's a lot of work on that. Maybe it might be faster. The only way is to actually get in there and do it and see. Maybe I can. Okay, well, here to here. Yeah, gotta get going. Wish me luck out there in this weather with all of the crazies. Okay. And let's rotate this and see. We got this one, we got this one. So we got them all. Okay, good. Now, oh, is there a problem? What happened to the... Yeah, look at that. What was the last one I was working with? Was it this one? This looks fine here. Can I save it? And then yeah, can I save it and then Control Z and see if the problem fixes? Then I can focus on that. Let's see. Let me go Control Z because it's already saved. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. How many changes did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Control Z's. Okay. So whatever it was, the problem exists on that one that I was working with. Why? So let me do it again. So let me try just here to here. And again, let's just go here to here. And here to here. Take this and go for construction. For construction. For construction. For construction. Okay. Fingers crossed. Problem exists. So let me Control Z again. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. I think I'm going to work with this when I come back. What happened to it? I should have Control Z enough that it should be back. Oh, it's back on the top, not on the bottom. Well, let's see. Maybe I can kind of do this. Hold on. Let's take this. Basically, let's kind of redo this. Copy. Okay, let's see. Let me select this surface. Go sketch, sketch. Select this surface and remove, kind of do a section view and just remove this all the way up to here so it's easier for me to work with. Okay. Now I'm going to paste. Well, it's not quite, not quite right. Let me move this out the way. Let me paste that there. Okay, now let me paste it again. I don't want to control B. I want control V. I don't know what I did. Waiting for whatever it does to undo. Control Z. Okay. Whatever it did, I don't know. Now, am I still sketchy? Yeah, control V. Control, okay, put that there. $179. $45 degrees, yeah, that will do it. Okay, so let's try this at 45 degrees. Let's get rid of that. Well, I think I'm going to pause this for now. Go run an errand. Maybe tonight, if I'm in the mood, I'll continue. If not, maybe tomorrow or something, but we'll see. Select that. Okay. The idea is basically to just redo it again. Now, okay, select this. Let me just go sketch and it'll be easier if I do it like this. Features, there. This direction. Up to vertex. There. Let's see. Did I remove this? Now I'm going to have to work on the bottom one. So the idea is that as this one prints up, now can I see? I'm thinking maybe I need to change the way this looks also. Can I I'm just curious. There isn't going to be any nice way to do this. Yeah, there isn't going to be any nice way to do this. Oh, yeah, oh, sorry. because ideally you want to eliminate as much of the overhang as possible. So if I make it as 1, yeah, it'll eliminate, but will it look good? You know, will this look good? Maybe when I print it, it will. Can I then do a fillet? 0.25 right here. Can I do 0.5? 0.5? I have a little bit of, but maybe, let's just see how does it look with 1. Yeah. It may not even be noticeable like this. You know, in terms of the shapes. It might look like it's straight, except for the very end. Yeah, it's not looking bad. This might work. So what I'll have to do later is reproduce what I did here over here. I kind of like this angled, sloped look more than straight. Yeah. If you notice, a lot of the stuff that I do when I do tech-looking things, I try to do it at angles, at slopes like that, rather than curves. Sometimes curves, but usually I try to do curves and angles at the same. You know, give it that very you know, smooth look. So I'll save this. It's got errors right now, but I'll save it. I'll come back later and I'll work on the bottom, doing the same as I did on the top. And I'm wondering, maybe I could take the opportunity to make this even better looking, such as the areas in between here. I've always wanted to do something more. Maybe this is an opportunity for that. Maybe I could do something down here. Interesting how opportunities present themselves. Okay, folks, I am going to sign out. Okay, and let me do that. Okay, folks, thank you for watching. And I know once we get past this inconvenience from Facebook, you know, doing these live videos would be a little bit easier. And but for now, I'm going to go ahead and just close it and continue with another live broadcast, maybe later tonight, and continue with what I was doing with that nuclear core. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Hey, stay safe.